So I don't know how many of you have ever seen a Chevy Avalanche. I'm sure a lot of people have. I'm sure you've seen them on the road. Not a very conventional looking truck, SUV, whatever you want to call it. But definitely when it came out, it was a bit of a shock to the system. A lot of people didn't like the way the back has a little angle down there or back there. But I got to tell you, when I first saw this thing, I fell in love with it. I've always been a truck person. I've always really enjoyed the utility and the look of a truck. But like I said, when I first saw this, I loved it. Now, what this does is brings me to a point or a topic that is currently it's basically breaking the internet. And that is the Cybertruck.
So first of all, I want to just give a big thank you to Elon for taking such a big step, such a big risk on something like this. This is so beyond unconventional, yet at the same time, I think it's the most wonderful thing that I've seen in decades. Okay. I graduated school in high school in 1989. So I essentially grew up in the 80s. All right. I was able to experience all the crazy, weird things that were going on back then, the movies that thought the future would look like this. But I do have to admit, initially, when I saw this, I thought it was ugly. I was like, because I was expecting something else. And not to mention, my mindset, it has been just like everyone else's, has been conditioned to what we see today for cars. A lot of times we just get caught up with what things should look like, as opposed to this is this is a one-time deal in life, man. We have to enjoy it. We have to sometimes push the boundaries. And I know I have always been that type of person. I've always pushed the boundaries on pretty much everything that I do. A lot of people just look at me like I'm crazy and in certain circumstances. But you know what? That's what life is about. It's not about, as far as I'm concerned, it's not about conforming to what other people think or what they like. It's about what I like and what I want to do. And the same thing for you guys. And the fact that Elon came out with this, I mean, I just have to commend him. Hey, hey, dude, you did a great job on this. I can really appreciate what he's done. And to be honest with you, no qualms about it. I would absolutely buy this truck without a doubt, no hesitation. Initially, like I said, I thought it was ugly, but after those scales fell off my eyes, for the last 30 years, coming out of the 80s and seeing what I've seen, and then realizing that this is the car that I would have expected to see when I was a teenager. If I was looking at the future, looking at 2020, and somebody asked me, what do you think cars would look like? I would, and if they showed me this, I would have been like, exactly that. So here we are. This man is giving us something that was expected to be back then, yet it took another 30 years before it showed up. So that's just my opinion on it, guys. I like I said, I just really enjoy the fact that here it is. This is, I mean, this is a moon rover. Could you imagine seeing this thing at a stoplight going down the road? But personally, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this right here is going to change how the design language for every automaker out there, and it's not going to be immediate. I think though it's going to happen over time, and I mean, I'm not saying this, every vehicle is going to look like this, but I just think that, or at least I would hope, other car manufacturers would at least kind of push the boundaries a little bit more than what they're doing today. Some cars, for example, the new Corvette, I think it looks great. The angles and all of that, it's still, I mean, a bit akin to what we're looking at here. I mean, in some aspects, a lot of people don't like the way it looks, but it is definitely um, different. It is refreshing, and that's what this is. To me, it's a refreshing idea to remind us that we don't have to stick into one set way of doing things. I mean, just the innovation that this promotes, the spark of ideas that can come from this, it is needed right now. With the technology that's available today, the boundaries are just not being pushed very hard. I would expect that over the next, I would say, 5 years, I think we will start to see some changes. And again, guys, I gotta be honest, I really hope that is the case. Yeah, there have been a lot of memes, and they had a little faux pas. The window broke. I mean, hey, whatever. To be honest with you, though, I appreciate the fact that he didn't hide from it. He's stood there and took it, and I can't. I mean, that's just total transparency to me. Um, and then looking at the capabilities of it, you have the lowest model in the price, $39,000, 0 to 60. I think. Let's see. Let's just. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Tesla's website. Tesla.com. Cybertruck. Here we go. So if we go ahead and just look at this, we'll go ahead and look at the specs. I mean, yes, guys, this is extremely unconventional. Extremely. This is the low res version of whatever car you want to think about. But honestly, it does give some styling cues of the Lamborghini. But even still, I think it's awesome, guys. They've gone with an exoskeleton as opposed to body on frame, using cold rolled steel. Here, as it says, Cybertruck is built with an exterior shell made for ultimate durability and passenger protection. Starting with a nearly impenetrable exoskeleton, every component is designed for superior strength and endurance, from ultra hard 30 times cold rolled stainless steel structural skin to Tesla armored glass. So yeah, like I said, the glass had an issue, but I'm sure they're going to, over design it, or go back to the drawing board and fix that. Either way, that wouldn't be anything that would keep me from buying it. I just, gosh, I mean, it seats six, minimalistic inside, but to be honest with you, something that I would completely expect with something, if I was looking back again from a teenager in that time, just the one screen in there, very minimalistic, but very high tech. Again, something completely expected. It is not a beautiful vehicle. Okay. Just the design, though, something doesn't have to be beautiful to respect, or yeah, to respect the design cues or the styling cues that are involved here. Um, of course, there would be a couple things if I could change, or if I could, make a suggestion. To be honest with you, if I would actually add a little bit of a extension from the body itself, not with just this mud guard or whatever you want, whatever this is, but almost the body itself kind of extend out a little bit and then finish off with this. In other words, almost not as big as what a dually would look like, but just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more heft in the back. I mean, like I said, just something that I was considering, but still, like I said, I think it, even as it is, I think it's pretty awesome. Interior, like I said, very minimalistic. Although I think the way this looks here, the dashboard, I could take it or leave it. I think uh, possibly, man, if it would just stop. Uh, I think maybe incorporating, uh, having a black dash, but also, or rather, having a black dash with some um, LEDs incorporated in there or something like that. I think that would be really cool. But again, minimalistic is great. Definitely the steering wheel with. I mean, I don't. I don't think this will most. I doubt very seriously that steering wheel will make it to production. But even if it did, it's okay. I mean, I could definitely take it or leave it. I'd rather have a round steering wheel so you can change your position. But here, as you can see, the let's go back again. I think this is pretty awesome too. Just this look, man, it is just so awesome. And going back to my Avalanche, I created a tarp that would cover the back of it, and it really made it more of an angle like this on the back of my truck. Had it cut out. I had some Velcro and all that, and the way it looked, it wasn't there where I could drive with it, but still, it made it kind of look like that. Again, guys, I think it's pretty awesome. Um, again, it's if I was thinking about an electric vehicle in the future, oh, absolutely, absolutely. This is something I would have expected as a teenager, and yeah, I just think it's so. I think it's awesome. So let's look at the specs of this. Oh man, this thing, it's like I said, it is just so uh, it's awe inspiring. Honestly, it's pretty amazing. I think. All right, so the single motor, 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds, not bad. It's $39,000. I mean, gosh, range is 200 plus miles, 250 or rather plus miles. Drivetrain, rear wheel drive. Um, Storage, 100 square feet. The bed length, or they're calling it vault length, 6.5 feet, so 6.5 feet. Towing capacity, 7,500 pounds, not bad. That's about what my Avalanche will do. Uh, has autopilot, adaptive air suspension. I mean, ground clearance is up to 16 inches. Approach angle, 35 degrees. Departure angle, 28 degrees. Really, uh, I mean, like I said, very good. Let's go on to the dual motor, 4.5 seconds, 0 to 60, range 300 plus miles. Drivetrain, of course, the dual motor all-wheel drive, and all the other specs except the towing capacity is 10,000 pounds. But everything else is the same. And we go on to the tri-motor, which takes us to from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. So that is absolutely amazing. That's on par with most even supercars today. My Camaro won't even hit anything. It's not even it's a second and a half slower. Range 500 plus miles. Of course, the tri-motor engine or rope motor. I'm sorry. Tri-motor all-wheel drive, and everything else except towing capacity is 14,000 pounds. So everything else is the same. All in all, I think the Rivian is, obviously, let me say, uh, Elon was comparing it to the Ford F-150, which is the best-selling single vehicle, and it matches it and exceeds it in many cases. Really, more so, the real competition is with the Rivian, and I like the Rivian as well. I think it is a really great looking vehicle. Let's go ahead and go there too. So let's go ahead and go to Rivian right here. So I think, what is it? Let's go ahead and get to the pictures. I think, again, like I said, I like their SUV. I like the truck. Um, Honestly, I think they're awesome looking vehicles. Um, I guess the question is, and you guys can let me know in the comments, which would you rather have? Would you go with the Rivian? If you were getting a truck, would you get a Rivian, or would you go with the Tesla? I guess that would be kind of a difficult choice, to be honest with you. Completely honest with you, I think I would get both, or maybe I would get the Rivian SUV and then get the Tesla truck. I'm not sure, but if I was able to do so, I would definitely get both. So here are the specs for the Rivian: up to 400 miles. It has a quad motor system, um, and it has up to 750 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Very, very similar to the Tesla. Weighting depth over 3 feet. Max towing 11,000 pounds. Definitely respectable. And also the Rivian has the crab type steering, so both front and rear, or all four wheels can turn, which can allow the Rivian to turn in a very tight circle. The Rivian's interior, I think, is pretty damn awesome. Let's go ahead and see if it gets a better look at it. It has, some unique storage areas, and again, guys, I think the Rivian is a beautiful truck. Fairly similar to the Tesla as far as the large screen in the center, but other than that, I mean, the dashboard, I think, is just a piece of artwork. It is pretty awesome. Like I said, I've been following the Rivian fairly closely as well, and I would definitely get this truck also, or like I said, the SUV. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. It sticks with the conventional form factor for, as far as trucks are concerned, but it's not a bad thing. It's like I said, it's a beautiful truck. Definitely a beautiful truck. Now we're going back to the Tesla. Again, this is something. I mean, this is very polarizing. You either hate it or you love it. And again, considering when I grew up, and if you didn't grow up in the 80s, it might be hard to kind of get on board with it. But considering what I experienced when I was younger and what I thought, I love the truck. I would without a doubt probably take this over the Rivian, simply for the shock value of having this truck. Now, the Rivian is coming to market a lot sooner than the model. I would only want to get the dual or tri-motor version of this because I want the all-wheel drive. So the Rivian is going to be out, I think, next year. So obviously, this is more reasonable purchase as far as, and it's a lot more expensive. I think the lowest version, or the most inexpensive version of the Rivian is actually more expensive than the highest version of the Tesla. So again, guys, we'll see how all this turns out, but I think I just honestly think we are in for a wild ride. Definitely a wild ride. Of course, Ford's coming out with their electric vehicle, electric truck, and Chevy, or GM rather. And again, I hope they realize that now is the time to take some larger steps. All right, guys, that is all that I really have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this Cybertruck, I think, is just, it's just refreshing just to see something so strange come to the market. Okay, so if you have any comments, suggestions, or anything at all, please leave them below in the comments section. I really appreciate all of you guys. I know I have not posted very much. My schedule has been kind of crazy, but I'm trying to do more, so expect more. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button as well as that like button and the post notification button so you know when I post it again. Until next time, take care of yourselves and God bless.